We aren't separate from everything else that goes on around us. We aren't separate from the universe as God created it. We're in a joint adventure with creation in each moment of every day. And as we interact with and we observe everything that's going on around us at all times, we're sharing space with it and we're co-creating. So we're either dreaming up our reality consciously or unconsciously at all times. And we're constantly changing the state of the system of everything around us by the way that we show up and the way that we interact with it and the energy that we bring into it. And where we're creating our reality in each moment. And becoming conscious of a process that we've been unconsciously involved in opens up the possibility of radical transformation of our experience. In other words, we can change what goes on around us and we can change our lives. By being conscious, we can organize and evolve our physical dimension. We're not victims. We're not reactive to some larger system. We're powerful participants and we're powerful creators. We reflect God's nature. We are divine beings. We have His wisdom in us, and we have the ability to create that dream that He put in our heart. Here's the best news of it all. Everything inside of you and around you supports you in becoming your best you. And the freedom, fulfillment, and enjoyment and the abundance that you want follows that. Isn't that cool? We learn, though, somewhere along the way, usually early on in life, we receive messages and we have experiences that teach us that in order to survive and succeed, then we must do blank, blank, blank. So, for example, to survive and succeed, maybe you learn that you have to be the best at everything that you do, or you've got to work harder than everybody else, or you must never depend on anybody but you. And then you accept that lie as truth, and you get really good at reinforcing it. So you learn to survive, and then you often succeed in many ways, but only to a certain level. But you weren't created just to survive. You were meant to thrive. And we don't experience the fulfillment and the abundance and the freedom that we want and that we were made for until we learn to unravel that old programming and shift those survival mindsets and patterns to ones that empower us to thrive so that we can access everything that's available to us. And because we're creating our reality from what we're believing, when our beliefs change, our reality can change. And it will change. We're physical beings in a spiritual world, and we have the power and the wisdom to envision, to imagine, to create this into the spiritual world and to manifest that in the physical realm. We're created by God for enjoyment and to further creative expression of His nature. And if we become entrenched in a limited pessimistic viewpoint and dominated by that negative, heavy, stuck energy, then everything around us that happens is going to simply supply all the needed evidence to prove our viewpoint correct. So we're investing in those moments and helping create the very negative events that we use as evidence to prove our pessimistic outlook as truth. And when we do that, we're using our God-given genius to create a reality that not only doesn't serve us, but it's destroying who we were created to be. And it's robbing us of life. When we don't understand the nature of ourselves, the universe, and our place in it, we unnecessarily enslave ourselves. We aren't these cogs in this giant machine that operate like clockwork. We are creative mental hubs in an ever-evolving and infinitely interconnected network of ideas. And we use our creative imagination from the wisdom and the power of God in us to produce new ideas and new realities. Here's the deal. We are master artists in our life. So it's time to get real and honest with yourself for a moment. If you truly are the master artist in your life, what reality are you creating? Is the life that you're living the masterpiece you really want it to be? Or are you settling for a smaller, harder, more limited existence than the one you were created for? I am passionate about helping people close that gap between the reality they're existing in and the life that they desire, so that they can live in the freedom, the fulfillment, and the abundance that they really want. And I love teaching them how to recognize those survival patterns and mindsets that they've developed to create the reality that they're existing in, and powerfully then transform those patterns and those mindsets so that they can experience the breakthroughs that they desire. So if you don't like your current reality and you now realize that you're actually creating and reinforcing it by the patterns and beliefs that you are putting out, then don't stay stuck there. Click that button below to schedule a free vision strategy session with me, and let's partner together to reprogram and recreate the life that you were made for. It is time to create your beautiful masterpiece and start living and enjoying it to the full.